Listen Radio 107.6 FM, and I'm your host Yasar with my guest host presenter.
Assalamu alaikum, Yasar Tanveer. How are you doing?
Walaikum assalam. Alhamdulillah, I'm fine. How are you?
Alhamdulillah. Slow down.
Slow down.
You listen, Yasar. Don't Sorry.
Well, I am the radio DJ in the
yes,
chair.
wonderful. I love your shows. I love you're kind of cool. You're almost like the Trevor Nelson of Radio Dawn.
That's pushing it, maybe. That's pushing it, maybe. If he's hearing out there, he'll be like cringing.
Or Timothy Westwood.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So old school names there.
Really,
old school
really
names
not.
there. But anyway.
I really hope
Anyway,
not.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. It's good to have you on a Sunday evening again in this wonderful weather.
Who are you again?
Hmm?
Who are
I'm
you?
Ghufran, Shah.
Oh, yes, that's it. I forgot the introduction bit then. But yes, Ghufran, Shah and myself, Yasar, with the Tech Clinic, indeed. And we have to give a mention out to Momo Awards as get everyone voting Momo Awards, the website.
Yes, momoawards.co.uk. A few clicks and you can choose who your favourite presenter is, or your favourite media artist and street artist, and the most innovative show on the radio, courtesy of Radio Dawn 107.6 FM and Brother Yasar Tanveer's dream of a few years ago. I remember many years ago when Yasar was still in his teens, didn't have a beard, and he was saying, "Oh, I wish I could do this." And I remember you had a dream of a show like this, and you made it happen. So congratulations. I'm embarrassing you now, aren't I?
We're a team. We're a team.
Of course. Every ship has a captain.
We can have to.
Don't go all soppy on me, but time is running out. We're here. This is a tech clinic.
The Enterprise had 2 captains.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah. So,
okay.
Right, yes, let's get back on to track with what we are supposed to be doing and what we're actually here for. And that's obviously mainly you guys and your questions. Whilst I bring up those questions.
Guys and girls and brothers and sisters, wonderful questions we have. Some cracking questions this week, I must say.
Yes.
I like them this week because we only had one question related to a mobile phone. The others are really kind of technical stuff, and we like technical stuff.
But the Ghufran Shah loves it.
Because it's not really mobile clinic, is it? It's tech clinic. So thanks for all the wonderful questions this week. Having said that, next week we'll probably get 20 questions on mobile phones. But you never know. When are we going to get our first caller? Maybe this side of Ramadan?
We've had a couple of callers, haven't we?
Yeah, we've had. Yeah, sorry, I slapped my wrist. We've had some wonderful callers. About 2 of them, I think. 2 or 3.
I made a couple, but yeah, 2 or 3.
I wonder if that brother fixed his email issue.
Yeah, maybe we can come on here and tell us a bit more about it and how it went.
Yes,
if you fixed it. If not, then we can look into it again.
Indeed.
Right, the questions today, 2nd of June. How quick time goes. Sometimes me and my friends play PC games on a wired LAN network using a normal router. This works, but sometimes it becomes slow and falls out of sync. Do you have any tips to improve the reliability of the network?
Okay, interesting one. Reliability of the network, and it falls out of sync. Well, some things you can test to kind of determine where the root cause of the problem is. On your router, most routers have some kind of console or web interface. So you, if you know what the web address is, something like 192.168.0. something or 1.100, but you should know what the IP address of your router is. Log onto there and check the networking settings. For maximum throughput, maximum speed, make sure the settings are set to 100 megabits per second instead of auto. If it's set to 10 megabits per second, then change it to 100 megabits per second. I'm assuming it's a pretty decent router where the speeds are 100 megabits per second, because within your LAN network, and it's a wide network, the speeds nowadays, most common speeds are 100 megabits per second. You can get gigabit networks, which are quite rare for home use, but the person mentions it falls out of sync. That's one thing to test. If the sync is due to performance of the console or the computer, if they're playing on a computer, then maybe it's not a network issue. Maybe it's an issue with the actual device. So could do with some more information there. If they are playing across the internet, which they're probably not because they mentioned wide LAN, it's worthwhile going to the speedtest.net just to check what their internet speed is that they're getting based on the supply. But that probably doesn't apply because they mentioned it's a wide LAN network. And it falls out of sync. It could just be the games just can't cope. Maybe there's too much happening on the screen at one point. maybe also if they can tell us how many people are playing. Just need to pinpoint where that particular problem is. But certainly reliability of the network, check those speed settings. Giving a router a reboot now and again is always a good thing.
Okay.
And maybe upgrade the firmware of the router. That could be causing an issue.
Hmm.
So most routers have logs as well. So in that web interface, go to the settings and log interface as well.
Cool. Okay. Second question. My iPhone does not have a active SIM card in it. Can I still use it for the internet and as a music player?
Okay, so if the phone has been activated when you buy a new phone, the iPhone has to have a SIM card in it for it to be activated once.
Okay.
When you connect to iTunes. Once you've been activated with a SIM card, you can take out the SIM card and still use it as a internet browser music player, certainly. So it has to have been activated at least once.
So it has to have a SIM card in it initially, and then after that you can do whatever you like with it.
Indeed.
So it can basically become your iPod in a sense.
Yeah, sure. So I've got on my phone here, I can take out my SIM card, and I can still carry on using the phone for wireless, internet, etc. I won't be able to use my 3G or make any phone calls, but it will just say SIM card not detected.
Super duper. Right, I hope that's helpful for that listener. Let's move on towards the next question. Net neutrality?
Net neutrality. A bit of a tongue twister there.
Yes, it's often mentioned in the news. Is it important and would it affect me?
I like this question because it's very important and it is indeed affecting all of us without us knowing it. So a number of things we do take for granted sometimes. So when we use the internet on our computer, our smartphones, we tend to go to any website we want to. We can use any application. We can go to an app store, Google Play. We can download applications we wish. Some are free, some we pay for. We can get very fast speeds, 100 megabits per second at home now with some ISPs. I've actually got 125 megabits per second now, which is fantastic speed. True, I could get a slower connection. So I can pretty much use the internet as I wish. I can roam around where I want to roam around. And that net neutrality is really, that's what keeps the internet open. I can only do what I'm doing with the internet, or we can only do what we're doing with the internet, because the internet is actually open. It is an open system. Okay. And net neutrality is the principle that preserves our right to communicate freely online. So I can make a Skype call to family in Pakistan or America or whatever, and that's my right because the internet's free and it's open, right? So that principle is governing our usage of the internet today. However, there are always governments there and policies which try and change that to maybe a big brother type of environment. So we're seeing some bills are trying to be passed where everything we do could be accessible by the authorities. So be it a message on WhatsApp, be it a text message, be it any type of communication we make online, could potentially, and I repeat, could potentially be used by the authorities. So there are some states which have that. Some states or control your access today. Okay. But we're fortunate in this country. We are using these principles every day. So yes, it is very important, and it is affecting us today.
There you have it, Lester. You have your answer. Hope that's helpful. Next question: Nokia 520 or Samsung Galaxy phone?
Okay, Nokia. There had to be a mobile phone question, which is good.
Well, I like the iPhone's a mobile phone as well.
I've actually touched I've seen a Lumia 520.
Right.
It's quite a nice device.
Yeah.
It runs Windows, and it can play Flash. So if you're a user who must have Flash support, then that's the one for you. Because the Android doesn't have out-of-the-box Flash support. You can. There is a way of getting it to install Flash, which you mentioned a while ago. But this Galaxy Fame, it's also got an FM transmitter. So I'm just going to do a side-by-side comparison with these based on some of the common things. If we compare the music capability of both devices, the winner is the Samsung Galaxy Fame. Okay. Photo and video, the Galaxy Fame wins hands down. It's got a camera flash and takes photos with less light. Sensors are pretty the same. The size is pretty much the same. The speed of the processor is pretty much the same. Battery is the same. The screen is pretty much the same. Okay. Storage is pretty much the same. Keyboard is pretty much the same. So some other compelling things. Both are kind of 5 megapixel cameras. Nokia Lumia does not have a flash. Okay, so camera. Samsung does. Big differentiator, would you say, the software? Absolute software. Nokia's running Windows, and Samsung running Android. However, the Nokia can take higher res movies. The Samsung has got poor movie capability, only at 480p, whereas the Nokia has 720p. What else do we have? They've both got a GPS, they've both got a compass. Size is pretty much the same, the weight is pretty much the same. The Nokia Lumia is dual core,
Right.
the single core Galaxy Fame.
Ah.
Nokia has 5 gigabytes of RAM.
Yeah.
Yeah, RAM.
5 gigs of RAM.
That's what this comparison says. They might be wrong actually, or I think it's only half a gig.
Oh, okay.
They've got this
I'll
wrong.
go by half.
Yeah,
gig.
yeah. I got a 5 gigabyte in a handset. And 5 gigabyte RAM. Bigger screen on the Nokia. Better resolution on the Nokia. So battery life is better on the Nokia, but internal storage, Nokia's got 8 GB, Samsung 4 GB. But overall, the one I would recommend is the Galaxy, simply because it's got Android, more apps available, as opposed to the Windows, which is almost. It looks nice, and if you're a die-hard Windows fan, then you'll like the Windows one. Okay.
I'll say for the ease of use, I would go for the Lumia.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's very easy to use.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this kind of tiles concept coming from a Windows 8 background, if you're used to that, then the Lumia is nice.
I'll put this one out there. I've got a mother a phone, and it's the Lumia 520.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Excellent.
and
Beautiful.
she doesn't have a mobile phone prior to. Well, she never had a mobile phone prior to this.
And she's using it easily.
Well, I said it should be easy because it's pretty much turn on, and what I've done is for each of those tiles, I've created a contact. So I'll put a contact name for each of the tiles. So on the main screen, which is the all tiles layout, is all the family members' names as a separate tile. So all it needs to do is press the tile, and it calls that person. So there you have it, as simple as can be. Which I think is a little bit more harder to navigate around the Android handsets. That's more of a techie phone, you can say.
Yes, absolutely. Very customizable, and I suppose the Luma is as easy to use as the iPhone.
Yes.
Maybe even easier because of that tiles.
Because of the tile concept.
That skin.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
By the way, I checked up on the RAM. It's 512.
512. Yeah, sorry.
Yes.
Sorry, 512. Thank you. You're
not
keeping me honest.
Yes, that's right, and that's the main point, especially when we're giving that information out there. Next question, which interested you a lot. Bitcoins is meant to be a new technology to make payments between people. What is it all about, and how does it work?
Yeah, this is a fantastic question. I'd be interested to speak to this person who asked this question. Whether it's a university student or are they just curious, have they read it in the paper? Bitcoin is very interesting. It was first described in about 2008 by I'm not sure if this was an individual or a group of people.
Right.
There's a pseudonym here, Satoshi Nakamoto, and it's basically it's a electronic cash system, which is unlike any other.
Okay.
So the way this works is it's a decentralized digital currency.
Right.
Okay, and the unit of the Bitcoin digital currency is this thing called a Bitcoin.
Right.
So let me first of all tell you what it's not, because it might take a while to get your head around this, and
Okay.
I'll try and summarize this. We've got how many more questions have we got? Yeah, okay. So if I drag on, because it's fascinating stuff, tell me to stop. So
Sure.
it's not like PayPal,
Right.
because PayPal is a company. Bitcoin is not. Bitcoin has been pioneered by the open source community.
Okay.
So Bitcoin is not regulated. It's a decentralized currency solution. Okay?
Mhm.
PayPal works with existing currencies. So in PayPal you can make payments using dollars, etc., different currencies. With Bitcoin you don't. You're exchanging with Bitcoins. There's a finite amount of Bitcoins, like gold. Okay, so there will be around 21 million Bitcoins. Okay, and that's a significant number. PayPal holds a balance for you, so you can have it's almost like a bank account.
Okay.
You can have a PayPal balance. People can pay into your PayPal account. PayPal could freeze your amount whenever they wish. Okay, which means you can't get access to your funds and you can't send money to people. You can't buy things. With Bitcoin, nobody can freeze your Bitcoin, and no one can tell you how to spend your currency in Bitcoin. There's no charges. There's very, very minimal charges at the moment for exercising your Bitcoin. So it's like virtual currency. Well, the thing is, people say that people think it's not really a currency, but it's something we can use to actually transact. So
Right.
if some of you have played these war games, online war games,
Yeah.
you can amass credits. And once you get those credits, because you've finished off a level, or you've exchanged, or you've won some bonus points,
Uh-huh.
you can use those credits to actually buy something in the game.
Okay.
So take that concept. You could use these bitcoins, which you've purchased for real money, and you can
Mhm.
use them to transact. So as a business, I could pay you in bitcoins, and you could pay me in bitcoins. Okay, so we're transacting directly. We're not going to a bank. We're not
Yep.
loaning any money. We're exchanging in bitcoins. So it's very much like a currency, and you can trade with anyone who accepts it, just like
Uh-huh.
gold. So if you want to pay me in gold, then I could pay you in gold, and
Hmm.
we could pay the local shop in gold if you wanted to. There's no middleman. There's no one acting as a bank or a broker. So it's not a credit system. Okay, so it is like a new kind of money. It's an open source project at the moment, used by about 100,000 people. Not many
Uh-huh.
people at all. But what's happening today is people all over the world are trading, doing business in bitcoins, which is worth up to the value of hundreds of thousands of dollars. And bear in mind, there's no credit card, there's no middleman. It's like a startup currency which no one has seen before. So if you look at the whole banking system, there's a whole history there.
Yeah.
That's a separate show to talk about how the banking system evolved and how unjust that particular system is. But it's something that we deal with every day.
Yeah.
We're stuck with that system. We cannot change that system.
No,
Whereas this currency is the first digital currency, completely distributed. There's no bank. You don't need a payment processor,
Mhm.
and it really is security and freedom. So how does it work? Where you've got these servers, these Bitcoin miners, which are computing what's called a hash. And
Okay.
a hash is a pretty much unique identifier. So
Uh-huh.
the way it handles security is by all these servers producing these hashes when you're about to do a trade. So let's say I want to trade in that. I've received a hash, and you've received a hash, and there's these servers out there which are making sure your hash or your string of digits
Yeah.
is never going to be the same as my hash.
Okay.
If it was the same, a new hash will be produced. So the way it works is quite it's interesting, and you can today open an account with Bitcoin. So you can go to Bitcoin. .stackexchange.com,
Yeah.
and you'll see lots of wonderful things about that. All right. So I'm gonna open an account. You end up with a wallet, a digital wallet, where you have your currency inside there. So I think it's very, very interesting.
So worth having a look at.
Yes.
Okay.
So the fact that it's decentralized, has very little control, is or could be a potential source of worry for some of the authorities. Okay, and I shall stop there. But, do Google on Bitcoin, and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Right. Okay. Next and final question for today, and then we'll move on to
the
our.
final question.
We've got another segment to go. Don't worry.
Hmm.
NFC chips are becoming more and more present in technology and payment system in the UK. Are they safe? Can they be duplicated? And what steps, if any, should I take to keep my NFC device and debit card safe from fraud or other misuse?
Okay. Mixed reviews about NFC. So if you look at
Mhm.
NFC, what it is, near field communications.
Yeah.
Inherently, fundamentally, it is secure if you think about it, because to use NFC, you've got to be within short range. Okay, so for somebody to hack your NFC ID,
Mhm.
they've got to be really next to you. They're holding you, hugging you, for them to get hold of your particular device.
Yeah.
Right? So you can actually clone your NFC tag if you want to do, and there's freely available apps there that can do that. I would say if you are worried about NFC, just disable it on your phone. On all the phones you can disable it. All right. On the Android, iPhone doesn't have that NFC. I'm not sure if it ever will. Who knows? But the Android certainly does.
It might do in the next edition.
Maybe in the 6. I'm not sure.
Well, what was the alternative? Again on the iPhone?
Passport,
No?
yes, passport.
It didn't really take off, did it?
Airlines are using it. I used it on airlines.
You try everything. You're a techie, so it's a different story with you.
You get boarding pass and passport. It's great.
Oh, come on, you're a techie. It's a different story.
So you can disable it. However, there's been there's a program on TV the other day where you can get these devices now where somebody could walk by you,
Yeah.
bump into you accidentally, and within those few seconds they could take all the information from your device if NFC was enabled. So the nice thing on the phone is you can disable NFC. The worrying thing is many cards nowadays, debit cards, for example, have the contactless payment mechanisms.
Okay.
So you can, I think you've got to have this sticker on the card that you get from your bank, and here you can make payments for up to £10 or £20. You just swipe it across the cash register, very much like this NFC concept. So if you've got a debit card, then you're even more so exposed. So how could you minimize the risk? Disable it, and if you do want to pay by there's an NFC technique that when you're in the shop, just turn it on, make the payment, and then turn it off. The person also mentioned something about cards. Did they mention debit cards or credit cards?
As I was going by the question, they're becoming more and more present in technology payment system in the UK. Can they be duplicated, and what steps we should take to NFC debit card safe from fraud?
Yeah, debit card safe from fraud.
Or misuse.
Yeah, so debit card safe from fraud. Now, debit cards are you got.
I'm guessing they're trying to link the two. So.
Yeah, and that's right. So because debit cards, you've got to be even more careful because unlike a credit card, a debit card is directly your bank account. If you've got cash in your account, then if somebody gets hold of your debit card, they could potentially clean your bank account.
Because you can get the NFC chips on
the debit card, So
some banks are offering it, I believe.
So one thing could be I got those a while ago. I just throw them in the bin. Don't use it. But if you have used it and you want to try and just do things to make yourself a bit more security conscious, always check your bank statements.
Yeah.
Okay? Make sure there aren't any unauthorized transactions there. Okay. Protect your PIN number. Obviously, don't give it out to people that you are not really close to.
Yep.
And try changing it on a regular basis as well.
Cool.
Don't use your debit card in a public Wi-Fi spot. Just be wary of that. Okay. When you're using your cash machines, only use the cash machine in a bank because the bank machines are quite secure. They've got cameras fitted and they're very difficult to tamper with. Having said that, my dad's card got swiped by a machine. That machine was tampered with. It was one of the student ATM machines in the bank down the road, but that's been fixed now. But the ATM machines in petrol stations on the high street, which are not banks, they may have been tampered with. So the machine nowadays, you can put your card in the machine.
Yeah.
You can make a copy of all your details and give you the card back.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't be aware. So always check your statements. If you're taking money out from the machine and something doesn't look right, maybe the screen's cracked or there's something on the screen or where you put the card in, there's not quite fitting in smoothly, just report it to the bank immediately. All right.
Okie dokie.
Yes.
Yes, and that's all the questions for today. Right, moving on to the next segment.
Are you rushing me, dear boy?
Rushing you? Oh.
Okay, then we've got 6 minutes.
What we're looking at? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Less than that, really. We've got to finish just about 30 seconds or 10 seconds at least prior to 9. Right, to capture that recording. What's new in the world of tech? Yes, a new segment, which has been going on for 2 weeks now. Right, pronounce Enoyo, I think it is, Enoyo. InnoCube. I don't know if you've heard of this or not. It's a handheld tiny projector. Just like an iPhone, it crams a room full of devices into a pocketable device.
Wow.
It is literally handheld. I'll let people...
It's a cube as well.
Yeah, it's a cube. And a lot of people are putting that back as to the Borg cube, like the Borg in Star Trek. I keep making the references again and again, but I have to put that in there. It's a handheld projector, which basically cube-shaped Pico projector, just 1.8 inches, 4.5 centimeters on a side. And South Korean mobile provider SK Telecom, the device is being marketed around $299. So pretty smart, very nice idea, and one that should be coming to market soon. What's great about it also is that on the side of it and the enclosure, they've got the projector lens. One side has the power button and the MHL connector. Another contains a micro USB port for charging and focus wheel as well. Check that out.
And what's the resolution that can output?
I haven't got any information on that, but I'm sure you.
How do you spell it again?
It's INNOIO.
INNOIO.
Yeah, in
Pico.
O cube after that.
It's a Pico projector. I've got a very...
So what's what I've got down after that? Yeah, Pico projector. I don't know if that clears that anything up for you, but yeah. Also in the news, I'll let you search that one once. I'll carry on. HTC One Android 4.2.2. I don't know if you actually got the update yet or not, but Sense 5.0 update details that have been released about it. And that's in regards to the boost to the Sense as well, without the name change, aesthetics changes, what's heading the pack, whilst expecting a bit of improvements to bug fixes, minor changes obviously are the bug fixes, and then you've got major things which they're saying will be linked to the camera, and the long lost menu key. The app drawer and the dock have been updated to allow the dock to be made more bare, and for icons to stick to the drawer even when they're also pushed to the dock. I don't know if that's helpful or not, but that's something they're adding on. But yeah, that's pretty handy. Also, Android native sound profiles, EQS or equalizer controls. Yeah. And these controls can be found by tapping one's EQS icon in the upper right corner of the notification menu. And finally, now you'll be able to see the battery level with a percentage indicator. Yippee! Next to the battery icon itself, accessible under settings, power, and show battery level. So this is all new to come in the 4.2.2 update of the HTC One. Next piece of story, and moving on quickly. Fitwall, don't know if you've heard of this, where tech and elite fitness get off the ground. So it's basically against the wall, quite literally. And they don't use the...
Train smarter.
Yeah. They don't use the old school techniques. This is a new one which they use a wall. Branded fitness studio where members strap on a heart rate monitor, find the assigned fit wall and monitor their workout exertion with an attached iPad.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Kick that one off. Monitor their workout. Fitwall Studios are gone live with 100 technology-driven fitness studios. 2,600 square foot studios look more like a pristine store for posh shopping than a gym. So it's something new, and I will ask the listeners to definitely look this one up. It could become a big trend. You might see it in the UK as well soon. But yeah, definitely look that one up. Finally, the Samsung SMC 101, the mystery smartphone, which hits FCC. It might be the Galaxy camera reboot. I don't know if you've ever seen or no. You know, I know the Galaxy camera was it was okay, but it was kind of too pricey for what it could do. To be honest, it was basically a S3 with a big camera, like kind of. They will kind of go for the DSLR market with a smartphone plugged on with it, like smashed onto the screen together. Yeah, 2-in-1 sort of thing. But yeah, it didn't really kick off. Apparently there's going to be a follow-up to that, and that's under the name of the SMC 101. That is all that we have time for today, and we're going to sign out from the show, the Tech Clinic, because we've only got less than 20 seconds.
Yeah, 20 seconds, Office 365. I migrated last week. I'll talk about it next week.
Inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
You are listening to Dawn FM.